4 seems to be a magic number when it comes to finding stability. 4 legs on a chair, 4 tires on a car, 4 corners on a racetrack. It's a nice even number where things are predictable. Tonight we're going to lop off one of those corners and mix things up with just 3. This is the first of 3 rounds of the 2021 Catalyst317 Triple Crown for the Coca-Cola of Kokomo Indy Elite Series. There's money on the line, a grid as deep as it can get, and a track bigger than any other oval on the schedule. Except that's the tricky bit. This 400-mile test of aptitude and endurance isn't on an oval. We're in Long Pond, Pennsylvania at the trickiest triangle there is. Kyle Heyer alongside Tom O'Gorman for the 6th round of the season here from Pocono Raceway here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Tom, welcome. This is a huge, wide, fast racetrack. Intimidating, yes. Tricky, also yes. A blast? Definitely yes.
And it doesn't get much more different than this, and what is going to be really fun to watch is who rises to the top. We've seen some new names pop to the top in practice, and there are certainly a very small number of people who have enjoyed success this season in the Indy Elite Series, mainly our championship leader, Christopher Demerit. Can someone dethrone him with one fewer corner?
Green flag in the hands of the starter. Green flag flies, and we're racing in round number 5 of the 2021 season. Fanning out 3 wide, Brophy did not get a very good start. Kinsella will lead the field down to the first corner here, Tom. Already 200 miles an hour. That's just on a restart. Here we come.
Brophy shuffled all the way back to 4th and still side by side with Andreas Ike, challenging for 5th. Liam Quinn is up a couple of positions as well. There's 3rd on the grid, but they're side by side for the lead. Henry Bennett goes up the inside for turn 2, picks up the spot from Kinsella.
Oh, he dove in there really hard, though. Can he hang on to it? Yes, he does. He goes to the top spot. Big slide behind him. That's Adam Dock, I believe, the 99 that had a big wiggle on corner exit. And Andreas Ike just up the road. He's finished real solid in almost every race this season. Behind him, I hear some drama, some contact. 3 wide. We've made it through lap number 1. No, car spins to the inside. That's Burton. He's going to slam the barrier on the inside lane, and his race is over before it even started. One of them is Chris Stouffer in that 13 car. That's the teal and silver on the inside of Tony Schauen's number 31. Ooh, that's going to be a little bit of a slide job there, dirt track style. And Christopher Demerit slowly beginning to work his way forward. I'm getting the hunch that this car is set up for a little bit of a longer run, maybe starting on some lower tire pressures here and building up throughout the course of the race.
Very possible. The other interesting thing I just noticed across the line last time through, the top 2, Henry Bennett and Andrew Kinsella, who had pulled out almost 2 seconds from the field, they were 2/10 slower each than the rest of the cars behind them. Jason Brophy, Liam Quinn, Wilson Nito were all about 2/10 quicker last time across. This time they're back to their normal pace. Kraus, your defending champion from last year, and he sits 6th in that championship, but he's definitely had a little bit of an up and down season. 6th, 32nd, 4th, and 12th. So really all over the board, but even with that kind of mixed consistency, that's pretty good enough for 6th in the championship. And now under attack from Christopher Demerit, who's charging forward again.
Cars out of line here, passing for position. This is Stouffer under attack from Schauen, and you mentioned Demerit up to 14th and climbing. Now remember how slow of a start he had. Started this race back in 15th. He actually dropped to 19th and now is charging his way back forward and is now making positive progress and a net gain at this point. Halfway through the run already, though, so you have to wonder, is this going to continue? Is he going to start off at a slower pace and then gradually work up to it? Or will he be able to fire off a lot quicker in the subsequent runs in this race?
The less cautions, the less strategy involved.
There's Andreas Ike and Philip Kraus right behind him, following through the tunnel turn. And then off into turn number 3. Kraus started this race as the caution flies. It's Charles Antes, 86, that has had trouble. Oh, that's a big crash over at the exit of, I think this is at the exit of turn 1, I believe. Right on board here.
We saw a lot of these self-spins last week coming off of turn 2. Down at Texas, and we hadn't seen a lot of indication early in this race that the cars were particularly loose. That's the first time we've really seen the back end get away from somebody. Now that we've hit lap 17, perhaps the tire wear, we suspect maybe 25 to 35 at most laps on a fuel run. Maybe the cars get a bit of a handful at this stage in the race.
Yeah, that is a huge, huge hit. Time to go racing again. Lap number 20, this time from Pocono. Green flag back in the air. Henry Bennett fires off. Pulls down to the inside lane. Already a lot of shuffling in the backdrop. That's Andreas Ike, Philip Kraus going side by side behind them. That's the 31 of Tony Schauen. And Christopher Demerit popped out of line. He's under attack from, I believe that's 75 of Pavelski on the outside. And whoa, that's tight at the exit of turn 2. Maybe turn 1 rather. We've made it so far.
Jason Brophy attacking for second place. He goes around the high side on the exit of turn 2. On the high side of Kinsella. Kinsella takes it back on the preferred driving line down through the apex, but a lot of shuffling down here in the bottom of the top 15.
For second place, rather. Here comes Brophy around the outside of Kinsella, going to try to roll that momentum, and look at Henry Bennett diving out of the way of the draft, pulling the 14 car with him. Lots of shuffling as we head down the front straightaway, hitting lap number 21. So he is climbing forward, and you'd expect this, being the reigning champion of the series, you would expect that he would be one of the drivers to compete here today up at the front. Following in Jason Brophy through turn 2. And Brophy, a little bit unexpected perhaps, that you out there and win the pole and then not be the fastest on outright speed. You'd think qualifying, that's all by yourself. That's where you really show your setup. But again, these guys will run slightly different setups for qualifying trim versus race trim. And whatever he did was so trimmed out, I don't think it would be drivable in a race configuration, but he doesn't quite have the speed that he did in qualifying early.
Very possible. And I'm also watching, Philip Kraus seems to be really strong in 1, and then Brophy pulls back out in 2 and 3. Every time they come through turn 1, Kraus is glued to the back of Brophy, and then it pulls
crash!
Back out.
Turn 1 exit, Liam Quinn. Are we going to make it out of this one without a mess? No, we will not.
Oh no, it's Demerit. Demerit tagged him.
Oh no. Caution, lap 35. On the corner exit on the bottom, it's the 79 car. Tags him, sends him around.
He actually got straightened out and was fine, but he changed lanes. Demerit was going for the gap, and more cars collected at the bottom of the track, but things were fine for a moment. It's just the closing speeds from behind were too much. Watch this unfold from Demerit's cockpit. He's going to go for the wall. He sees the gap, and then it closes.
Yeah, that's so frustrating because you feel like that was wide open there. And does he get run over from behind? Oh, no, I think he might have just, there might have been a touch with Stouffer, maybe.
I know, I think there's a bump on the bottom of the track there.
There definitely is a bump. I think that might have been it as well. Here's another look. Was there a touch from behind? No, just hit the bump. Just skated over the top of it, Tom. And that ends his race. And everyone in and likely going to drive back out. Dan Ench stays out to lead a lap. Will likely hit pit road the next time by. Andrew Kinsella looks like he'll be the first driver off of pit lane. Beats Bennett. That's an interesting, notable change. Everyone else will come out double wide. A little bit of damage.
Ray Kingsbury has all of a sudden come alive in the black and yellow down there at the bottom. He's your defending race winner from 2 seasons ago, the last time we raced at Pocono, and now is racing for the top 10 side by side across the line with Robert Malechka, but had been up in the top 10, is now slipped back a couple of positions.
Into turn 1 at 217 miles an hour. On the inside of Halaba in the 0-2.
Watkins is one of about half dozen cars that really turned up the wick after that this most recent restart, I should say, and there's a handful of cars that I'm majorly surprised are outside of the top 10.
This is for the race lead. Kraus and Kinsella at the exit of turn 3. Here comes the 19. He ran Kinsella back from a long way, 7/10 across the line. Kinsella leads, but Kraus is there. Into turn 1, can he pull this off? Going to brave the inside lane. Kinsella's going to try to carry that momentum, but he cannot do it. Philip Kraus to the race lead. Kinsella with another run. Is he going to go back? Yes, he will. This is a little bit racy for my liking on lap 47 here, Tom. Really easy to make a mistake and end your day.
Yeah, especially on the way into turn 2. Kinsella turned in pretty confidently and put Kraus at the bottom of the track. Didn't really give him much of an out. Funkiness going on with the chassis setup to change ends on it like that, but green flag pit stops maybe starting to happen here as we've been long enough, green flag long enough. Speaking of teammates, all these cars have the same team speak, and Andrew Woods no exception. He comes to pit lane in the 64, and trying to look how many laps have we been running.
23 to be exact.
It's fewer than we'd expect, but maybe we're getting to the point where they're going to need some green flag fill-ups.
Oh, that's going to be a touch, and carries in the fence hard at the exit of the tunnel turn. He just got run up the racetrack there, Tom. That was a little naughty on Watkins' part.
It happened so fast. It was a little awkward looking from that perspective.
It's caution.
We're looking as far across the track as we were, but green flag pit stops all of a sudden don't matter as much. Straight back to the caution.
Yeah. 24 just got in there, just washed up, and just slammed Brian Carey there.
That perspective tells the whole story for sure.
That's a frustrating way to end. Carey didn't really do anything wrong there, Tom.
Well, you mentioned it's a game of chicken down in turn 2, and it's less banking than turn 1. It's not that steep of a corner, and too easy to get in there a little too quick.
Oh, did anybody hit? Oh, did Henry Bennett get a piece of that debris? Not on board here. See if he gets a piece of this. That debris at that speed can mess stuff up. He's skittering across. Wow, he missed it. Team I-5G running in second right now to Philip Kraus as a couple other drivers peel off the racetrack. Kraus is on his 24th lap, and he can certainly make it from here on one more stop, and now he will peel off and come down pit road. Pavelski will stay out his. He led a lap today. He has, and he will lead a fifth.
I think that was 25 for Kraus again, wasn't it? Was it not?
24 for
24, okay.
Yep. At 25th as he came into the box. So now I'm just the most curious about Kinsella because he had to go 51 laps on 2 tanks of fuel. That's a long way for me. And he's got a chance, but I think it almost requires a bit of a yellow just for a little bit of safety's sake. And even then, everyone else would be in the same boat as you after that point. So final 20 laps have begun, and now they tick down on the ticker.
Oof. Wood almost tagging the wall off of 3. Doug's all the way to the bottom trying to break the draft, and he's got a snake behind him. Stouffer, Bennett, Nito. Nito is very, very close to the back of Bennett, but we've seen that 80 car get stuck.
Nito following in line. This is the closest battle on the racetrack other than Adams and Cahill for 12th. Holes even with him, but he's not going to be able to build this run on the inside like that.
And this has been his problem all night. He just gets that slingshot around the outside. He's got the handling car for sure. His cornering speeds, his entry speed seem pretty good. Just can't really go anywhere with it.
Kraus is feeling that pressure for sure. Turn 2 is where Pavelski gains all this time. Right here, this is where he gains it all. You can see that car is really wildly loose, but it's fast, 0.6 of a second. Into turn 3, is that too high of a line? This time by white flag, it's a long ways back, but it's not over until the checkered flag falls. One more lap around Pocono for the Catalyst 317 400. Philip Kraus is in command. He started this race back in 11th spot. He has led over half of the laps here today. 88 to be exact. Dragging the 75 onto the apron on the back straightaway for a moment. Pavelski is only half a second away from running down this 19 car, but he's not there yet. Pavelski through turn 2. It is a valiant effort in the last couple laps of this race from the last pit stop onward. Pavelski within a half a second. He needed 5 more laps. He will not get them. Philip Kraus comes out of turn number 3, and Philip Kraus wins the Catalyst 317 400 and the Catalyst 317 Triple Crown round number 1 from Pocono. Pavelski second place, 0.6 back. Bennett third place in the 007.